Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to the Painted South. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing how I decorated my kitchen for the fall season. Now I have already shared how I decorated the dining side area of the kitchen. I will link that in the description box below in case you haven't seen it. Now that was more of a decorate with me style video where I kind of took you through it, but today's video is going to be already done. It's just going to be a tour of what I've already done in the kitchen. It takes me a long time to do decorating sometimes, especially when I'm using a lot of elements and just digging through my stash and trying to see what I have to use, what I have left to use. I've already used quite a bit of stuff. So what I like to do is just kind of play around with the things that I have and try different things together in combinations and go on a little hunt if I need certain things or maybe something that's a certain height. And so that's just how I decorate it, and it would have taken a long time, and I would have had a lot of video footage that didn't even need to be recorded because I changed my mind a lot. So what I've done is just went ahead and decorated, and then we're just going to look at all of the areas that I added a touch of fall into the kitchen. I have also shared how my kitchen looks when it is bare. I believe it was my very last video where I showed what it looked like in its bare state and some of the issues with the kitchen and some things that I don't like. And so what I've done to the kitchen for fall decor and what I also will do for Christmas is try to hide a lot of the things that I don't like, just to try to draw your attention away from some of the flaws and just hide a lot of the bare areas that aren't very interesting and so forth. And so that's what I've done. Now, while you're watching the video, you may notice that the lighting changes throughout. Some of the different clips may look one way, a lamp may be on, it may be off in the next one. And what I was trying to do is adjust the lighting so that it would look better on film. I even used the flash on my camera in some of the dark areas. There was a lot of backlighting coming in through the kitchen windows and the door, so it was kind of hard to film, but I hope that you will still be able to see what I did well enough to get an idea of what everything looks like. And I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm sure next year it's going to look totally different. And so this is what I've come up with this year. And I tried to make it coordinate a little bit with the dining area side. I had a little bit of an Asian influence, and I'll show you that in this video as well in case you missed it briefly. I'll just show that area also. But mainly what I've tried to do is just display things that I like. I added a lot of copper, I added a lot of those warm earthy tones, and just brought that same kind of vibe with the rusts and deep oranges and greens and so forth all throughout the home, so it's cohesive. And it does feel very cozy in here. I feel a lot of times like it doesn't come across as well on video. Sometimes things look better on video, but sometimes it just doesn't look quite as good as it does in person. So I hope that it comes across well on this video. So that being said, let's get started. So here is the kitchen before, and as you can see, besides the island and the shelf over the sink, it lacks any kind of color and certainly any kind of warmth that we really need for fall. My goal was to add as much warmth, texture, and interest as possible while still leaving usable counter space. Cass is getting himself ready to help me decorate. Now, I have been trying not to buy any more decorations for fall, but I needed more greenery and stems to finish the kitchen, so I did purchase more of the same items from Hobby Lobby, with the exception of this bush. I really loved that muted green color, and I think you could use this as a filler all throughout the year. You may have heard me mention that I needed curtains for the sink area. I remembered I had this beautiful thrifted tablecloth that cost just a few dollars. Because it was 72 inches long, by cutting it in half, I had the perfect pair of curtains that I can use all year long. I've used tablecloths as curtains many times. It's a great option. Now, I didn't hem the top or anything. I just used the clips that were on the rod. As you come in our front door, you are in our living room, and there are two doorways leading to the kitchen. And to either side, there are French doors that lead to other rooms in the house. This is the main dining area of the kitchen, where we also have a sofa for hanging out more comfortably, but still being in the same room while the cooking and baking activities are happening. To the left, I have an extra stool beside these cabinets that can be pulled up to this pub table. On the shelf over the sink, I layered lots of textures and autumn colors. Even though the space is limited, adding these warm tones really helped break up all of this white cabinetry. I'm a fan of mixing metals, and I love gold, brass, and copper, and I personally prefer it to be tarnished or aged. While I hesitated to cut that beautiful tablecloth, I'm super happy with the simple feminine softness that it added to the windows. Here I'm just showing you that those recessed lights have a nightlight setting, and those crooked black candles are going to be swapped out later on for battery-operated ones. Now, I think a bright white kitchen can be absolutely beautiful, but this one is lacking higher quality materials, and so what I tried to do was add richness everywhere I could all around the kitchen. On top of the refrigerator, I added a pumpkin floral arrangement that I made a few years ago, a little farm fresh pumpkin sign, a thrifted brass lamp, and a hen that already had fall colors. On the counter to the left side of the stove, I placed a thrifted pottery piece with a simple floral arrangement. That little thrifted leaf came from an older serving tray and is being used as a spoon rest, and the other one is over on the sink for cleaning sponges. We keep our utensils easily accessible, which is something that I picked up from my mother. Now, at the moment, we don't have or currently use any fine china, and the only pretty glassware that I kept from our last home were these vintage amber goblets that I just couldn't part with. To the right of the stove, I filled in the corner with more color. This pumpkin and the pumpkin planter on the riser are from a previous makeover video, which I will link below. This ginger jar brought over a touch of Asian influence that is found on the other side of the kitchen. Every year I like to make fresh dried orange slices, and I tucked those and some cinnamon sticks throughout the kitchen for a subtle sweet aroma. That little marble cake stand will soon be filled with the most amazing pumpkin ginger cookies. I'll be sure to share the recipe in a future video. I kept the window decorations minimal as we like to watch the birds and the deer in the backyard. I think it's so pretty how the light shines through all of these colored glass decorations. From the other entrance to the kitchen, you walk into the site of the refrigerator. So I added one of my dress forms, which I thrifted several years ago, and it is wearing this cute little apron that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. Normally, we have these doors open, and that also helps hide the side of the refrigerator. Previously, I had the doors to the cabinet on top of the refrigerator removed, and I had the inside decorated also, but I wanted the storage back, and so I put them back on. The counter space to this long wall of cabinetry can be a challenge to decorate. Now, I really like symmetry, as I've mentioned before, so I used decor pieces that I knew I had in pairs. All except for the very large copper ice bucket in the center. These little DIY pumpkin topiaries are also in the video that I mentioned earlier, and I will have it linked in the description box below. I'm so happy to finally get to use this vintage ceramic leaf that will soon be full of Halloween candy. On the opposite side of the island, I just created a simple arrangement using this grapevine pumpkin in a tray that can be moved easily if needed. I'm sure as the fall season rolls on, I will be making some changes to the decor, and one of those changes I'm sure is going to be the glass yellow pumpkins that were from HomeGoods a couple years ago. I'm not a fan of that bright LED light, so I'll probably replace the fairy lights with ones that are much softer and warmer. I always kind of feel like the camera doesn't quite capture the coziness, but I hope you can get the feel of the warmth and the colors that I've added to the kitchen. Later on, as it was starting to get dark outside, I got a little bit more footage so you could see how all the decorations looked at night. It is super cozy and warm, and I'm so glad the majority of the house has been decorated for fall. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Now in the next video, I'm most likely going to be sharing the front porch. I've already started cleaning and getting everything prepped for fall decor out there. The weather has been so absolutely amazing. I just couldn't stay inside the whole time. So I've been decorating the kitchen and also working on the front porch. So that should be in the next video. Now, I also told you I was going to be doing some painting projects, and I am working on those. The weather was just so beautiful, I couldn't stay inside. I have been loving being outside and repotting some things and just really soaking up the weather. I know it's going to get cold soon, so when the weather's like this and it's this perfect, I have to be outside. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for all the comments that you leave, all the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, I would love for you to do so. I hope you'll stop by and visit me in my next video. And until